distinguished guests, distinguished HoloBase users, and all the friends. I'm happy to welcome your participation in HoloBase online event. I'm Linda from HoloBase team. Welcome. This is our September webinar. We have wrapped up our last series of events themed by changes and opportunities in the post-pandemic era in Southeast Asia last time. And today we will talk about how technology will assist education development. This is a special exclusive webinar for HoloBase users to share ideas with each other. So first, allow me to briefly explain the meeting agenda. For the next hour, Mr. Chintan Oza from India and Mr. Chukwuma Yukaha from Nigeria will give us a presentation respectively. And then there will be a Q&A session and discussion session. We have prepared some questions that I hope we can talk about. So Pearson Group, a global education organization, has released the Global Learner Survey 2020 based on a survey of more than 7,000 learners between the ages of 16 and 70 in 7 countries. The report finds that the COVID-19 is revolutionizing learning and working. 88% of learners globally indicated that online learning will be part of primary, secondary, and tertiary education in the future. For HoloBase's first online meeting, we talked about the remote working mode that emerged from the pandemic. A number of HoloBase users shared their experiences and ideas with us. With more and more schools remote opening this September, let's talk about this new learning mode, online education. So according to UNESCO's latest statistics, the epidemic has forced the closure of schools in 194 countries around the world, affecting about 1.6 billion children and adolescents, accounting for 91% of the world's learners. In order to prevent the epidemic from hitting the pause button on education, countries are turning to online classrooms. So to transform face-to-face online learning into screen-to-screen online offline learning into screen-to-screen online learning, technology has become predominant in the education field. So how can smart technology empower education, both in terms of learning and teaching? And in the midst of the epidemic, what new opportunities have emerged for online education? And is now a good time to get involved in the education, in the online education industry for entrepreneurs? We actually have invited 2 HoloBase members to share their ideas with us. So first, let's warmly welcome our first distinguished speaker, Mr. Oza. By profession, Mr. Oza is a telecom program manager, while by passion, he is a technology program management evangelist. Through his career span of more than 20 years, he has worked on various projects in government, defense, and private sectors, spanning multi-million, multi-technology, multi-geography, and multicultural teams with Reliance and Tata Group. His major career milestones include program managing one of the world's fastest GSM network rollout in a single geography and partnering with India's first smart city project as an ICT partner. I will stop sharing first, and please allow me a few seconds to unmute Mr. Oza. Okay, sir, you can start now. Thank you.
Thanks, Linda. Thank you so much. Indeed, it's my pleasure to be here and with all the friends at HoloBase. Thanks, Linda, for extending this opportunity to me to share my views. And let's quickly get started. I'll share my screen now. Let me see when you are able to see that screen. Is it visible now? Linda?
Yeah, we can see your screen now.
Okay, fine. Thanks so much. So let us start the session. I would be briefly sharing how tech is shaping up EdTech. So we'll discuss the theme of my talk is tech in EdTech. So let's get going. There's a brief introduction about myself. On the bottommost layer are my education qualifications. On the third layer from top are my certifications. Second layer from top are the institutes, organizations with whom I have been associated in different voluntary positions. On top are my employers, and this is where I am. I am a alumnus of IIT Mumbai as well as alumni of School of Business, UC Berkeley. I am also an active blood donor. I have donated blood for 33 times. So I would take this opportunity to encourage you to donate blood. Thank you so much for your attention. Let's move on. So I'm going to take help of Linda in certain questions, because while I'm presenting, I wouldn't have any visibility to the chat screen. So Linda, please help me out. So let us move on. So together we have overcome the corona pandemic situation. The peak has gone in, in many of the geographies, and that is where the life is again becoming normal. So what do you guys consider? What does the participant consider? Was this pandemic a boon or bane? So just type boon. If you think it is boon, then you say boon. If it is bane, then just type bane. So request all participants to share their feedback, please. So Linda, you can just tell me that what is the majority people feel, whether they feel it is boon or bane.
Sorry, let me think about. I think it's a pretty like there are different. Oh, one Taryn said it's boon.
It's boon. Okay, great, great. Anyway, we have less sample size as well, so let us move on. So we live in a world where robots are learning new skill every day. So it would be good for you guys to just Google what kind of new skills are being learned by robots, smart speakers. If you consider Amazon Alexa and Google Smart Home as smart speakers, on an average every 24 hours they are learning 5 new skills. So that is the way robots are rising. And let me ask you, are you learning, are you continuing your journey to learn new things? So this is where the tech is rising and how students felt. As Linda just covered, there was a survey conducted in US, and that is where one of the questions asked was that how students embrace digital technology for its ability to help them. So 81% said that yes, tech has enabled their grades. Because of tech, their grades have been improved. 81% felt that yes, their efficiency and effectiveness has been improved because of technology. And 69% of people said that yes, they have been able to improve their focus. So let us move on. So what is trending in education in our classrooms? Learning mindset is going down. One size fits all learning, it is going down. Because earlier was the scenario when there was a teacher and there used to be 200 students in front of him, and the teacher would just share his thoughts, and then he will, once the lecture is over, he will move on. So it was a one-way education. Now there is, it's not so. Paper-based processes everywhere. You were filling up various forms in our colleges and for our classrooms. Traditional classrooms are thing of a past. Traditional libraries, I mean, with rise of digital content, traditional libraries has become a thing of past. One-way content delivery. Now, no one wishes to learn in a one-way content delivery. Time-based engagement, that yes, this is where, I mean, I'm going to take only 32 lectures, and 32 lecture will cover entire subject. And these are not the way education is happening now. Exam oriented learning. In our times, we used to have teachers who would say, okay, fine, I'll help you pass the exam, that's about it. Now students do not want to learn just because to pass the exam. Peer competition is a thing of past. I mean, there was a scenario earlier, maybe a decade ago, where students used to compete with each other. Now the mindset has changed. I'll tell you what mindset has changed in my talk. One time learning, I mean, gone are the days when people will say, okay, fine, I did my engineering and that's about it. I will be able to on for rest of my life, and then I would be able to survive for rest of my life, be it engineering, be it medicine, be it any other trade. Now the demand is something that you need to continuously learn and refresh your skills. So this is what is going down, but what is going up? Growth mindset. So earlier I said exam mindset. So now there is no exam mindset. It's a growth mindset, that what you can learn, how you can contribute in this industry. Personalized learning. Teacher are required to give you personalized feedback based on your learning pattern to improve you. How teachers are giving these feedback? Because of your learning analytics, which is enabling the teachers to give a personalized feedback. Connected campus. Now everywhere, I mean, earlier internet was available in computer labs only. Now internet is available across, right from the entrance of the campus. Internet is available. Digital acceleration. People would like to use their own devices, BYOD. They want to bring in their devices to learn, and then that is how they want to learn in their classes. They want to bring their laptops, they want to bring their mobile to record the session, to take notes, and then learn at their pace. Maker spaces. So earlier there was a lab, now there are maker spaces where you can actually do a lot of pilot, and then do a lot of experiment to visualize your product and your experiment. Digital reskilling, new tools are being introduced. Micro learning. uh, Micro learning are the courses which are having 2 to 4 hour duration. So these are the courses which are being more popular in times of COVID. Next one is peer collaboration. As earlier we said that peer competition was there, but now it is competition is a thing of past. All of us love to collaborate and then learn from each other. So this is the way the culture is also shaping up. And then last but not the least, the need of the movement is lifelong learning. We must continue to learn and augment our skills. Just look at the this graph. So the entire 60% demand came from rural markets. So the entire industry has gone upside down. Pre-COVID scenario was a different scenario, wherein the demand was 60% demand was there from urban market and 40 was from rural. With the rise of this disruption, the entire game has changed, and this is because of tech and how tech is enabling ed tech. So let us look at it. I will be covering these points in very brief in the interest of time, like the new trends are learn anywhere, collaboration, social media, immersive learning, gamification, cybersecurity, and tools in classroom. So I will share my views on this. Let us move. Now, the education environment, the students, the faculties, the way that is, the education is being delivered. Students want to learn anywhere. Earlier was a scenario when learning was conducted in the classroom. Now is the scenario that learning is happening everywhere. Students are able to learn at their pace. They are able to replay the lecture. They are able to submit their assignment at night through emails, through their own portals. So it has definitely enabled us to have e-learning as the new normal, which is going to break the borders. So now I can easily apply and learn from any university in Singapore. I would wish to learn something from London. I would like to learn something from Australia, from China, from Canada, and I can get the best option available at my device itself. It has also expanded the horizon of the classroom. Now the classroom isn't a local entity. Technology has put this classroom on a global stage. And last but not the least, smart learning. There are various tools which are enabling students and faculties to conduct teaching and learning from anywhere. The next one is collaboration. Earlier collaboration was industry mainly into an enterprise. I used to once upon a time I used to sell enterprise products, and that is where I used to strategize selling of various enterprise collaboration tools. But now the collaboration tools have entered education. Students prefer to do a conference call to discuss their projects. They would like to have a video call with the faculty. They would like to have a video call for their projects. They have a whiteboard per class, per subject, so that they can build a FAQ and then online query resolution board for their queries. There are shared documents. They are sharing documents. Shared drives are available. This is enabling collaboration at a much faster pace. The next one is social media as an enabler. So earlier social media was something personal. Now social media has grown to the next level. All education institutes are available on social media. Students are available on social media. Teachers are available on social media. That is where teacher and students also prefer to interact with each other on their social media. And this has become a kind of a default mode of interaction. No one writes an email. They just write a short message to their faculty on Twitter or on Instagram or on even WhatsApp. All the classrooms have got WhatsApp groups. So the entire collaboration is taking to the next level, wherein social media and tech is enabling this collaboration. In education institutes, now they have presence on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. We are having this webinar. This is also one of the tech which is enabling education. I am trying to share my views and on this platform. Faculties have also become social media savvy. So earlier faculties were not using social media for their official purpose. Now faculties are open to use social media uh, profiles. You can connect with a faculty from Stanford University using LinkedIn, put up a query that, hey, I am studying this, and then I feel that this is where I am not able to learn well, and then at a suitable time, the person would like to respond and share his thoughts with a certain suitable article, blog, or even video. So this is where the world is moving. Immersive learning, the next trend in 2021 to watch out for is immersive learning. Benefits of immersive learning help you to visualize what is the content in a 3D mode. It also grabs the attention of the student. It helps us deliver scenario based learning, where rather than narrating a scenario, the teacher can actually help the student visualize the scenario. For example, I would say if I want to teach pyramids or history, I can easily put those pictures and content 3D videos of pyramids in my learning content and enable the student to understand what I am talking in a much better way. Immersive learning is playful. You can play with the content, you can rewind, you can touch, you can rotate. It can also be repetitive, so that once the content is developed, it can be replayed thousand number of times. There is no wastage. So immersive learning is also being used for let's say training construction workers. If there is one flyover which is being made, and then once the project is over, the set of construction force is being deployed for another project, which may be a road. So that is where the localization of knowledge is being done through this immersive learning. There is no waste. This is something also is enabling quality of the learning. So earlier there was a challenge in when we were kids, that not all schools used to have great maths teacher, but now with putting couple of good minds together, you can create a attractive content for the student, which would also help them get good grades, and you can enhance the quality of learning this way. Gamification is entering the world of education in a very big way. It helps increase the engagement of students. It drives behaviors of students. You can actually have analytics on gamification, and then you can tune the behavior of the students just to make sure that everyone behaves in a right uniform manner. Gamification also provides you instant feedback. It also removes the fear of failure, because you are playing a game, so there is no failure. In terms of traditional exam, there is a failure. The fear of failure is there in minds of students, that what if I fail? But here, not in this gamification scenario. You are not giving an exam, you are playing a game, and that is how your learning is happening. Gamification can be blended with all subjects, be it maths, be it science, be it any other subject, technology, engineering, management, everywhere gamification can be blended. And it not only develops a team spirit, but also inculcates various ethical parameters in the student. Cybersecurity, now with the rise of this much of technology, we need to be aware of cybersecurity. It is indeed the need of the moment that at academia level, at enterprise level, at class level, we need to provide and educate our students, faculty, staff, everyone for the best practices in cybersecurity. We need to teach them and make them understand that what is the importance of protection of data, be it personal or proprietary or organization data. We also need to help them understand how do you protect your data from virus, what is spyware, what is malware, what is other virus threats, how do you manage digital access, how do you maintain the hygiene of these devices. That has to be, I strongly recommend to all my customers and all my education institutes where I am working with, that you must have a governance committee on cybersecurity that should consist of students, teachers, management staff, and all the stakeholders, so that a right action of awareness and information can be spread throughout the organization. Another challenges are also on the horizon, like regulatory compliances, like privacy laws, like GDPR. So there are, everyone has to be compliant. In case if you are conducting business in respective region, you have to comply to the law of the land. So that is where regulatory compliance and the awareness and compliance part of the expertise on compliance has become important. Last but not the least, tools in classroom. Uh, when we were kids, we used to study with blackboard or green board, and chalk stick were the only tools available with the teacher. But now, interactive screens, touch screens are available. The teachers are able to play videos. We are able to get online assessment, virtual reality tools, virtual labs. Now, entire chemistry labs have become virtual, so there is no wastage of any chemical. There is no threat to student hygiene, and that is where tech is enabling to enhance the acceleration of quality education without any borders. The next one is chatbots. Many education institutes have deployed chatbots, and that is how the industry is shaping up. Analytics. So analytics not only helps to capture the ideas, but also able to capture data of students and their learning parameters at various level, be it class, that you can measure their attention span, you can measure that how they are appearing, and then at what speed they are answering the question. Then you can add and then realign your education strategies. So that is where measure and automate. It also helps us enhance engagement and performance of the education institute and teacher itself. So how technology is empowering this teaching and learning? So it starts with active engagement with learning material. Now the material has become digital. Earlier we were having books. Now the entire reference set of reference books are in form of PDF. You can do Control F and then find relevant material very easily. So that is where technology is helping. Use real world examples, video content. Now entire use cases are available in video. You can study. In case if you are studying electrical engineering for an example, then you can definitely go to YouTube or in any other site, Vimeo or any other local site, even in your geography, and then search relevant content. Maybe you can now learning about Tesla isn't a difficult thing. Simulation and modeling technology is enabling to simulate and do modeling to in education institutes. There are discussion boards, new collaboration tools, WhatsApp groups. These are the kind of groups which are helping and providing the student with to have the right forum and expertise and right reach to the right subject matter experts. There are working groups who are promoting education and technology. There are coaches like me who are available, who are willing to mentor the digital acceleration. And last but not the least, entire exam is going digital. So assessments in future would definitely be digital, not paper-based assessments. Next point is during the pandemic, what new opportunities have emerged for online education? So these are, in my view, these are the 9 opportunities. First one is popularity of micro courses. As I mentioned, the course having duration of less than 4 hours are called micro learning courses, and they are being very popular. Almost all of you would have participated in various such courses. Student acceptance. Now students are also willing to learn. The students are also applying this knowledge and trying to once the one course is available, they are willing to try out another course. Collaborative learning. There is single lab for learning it. It gives you exposure to all the subjects. I can say MSUP is one of the Chinese player which helps you to enhance your skills. Simulation-based learning. This is a new frontier. So you are able to use virtual reality. You are able to put the student in the real scenario and capture the way how he would behave in that specific scenario. Next one is gamification. Design thinking is being used to capture the expectation of the student, capture the expectation of the industry, and then tune and then deliver a better education content. Open education. All major universities have started open education where you can take admission in any of the open universities without any borders. Environment is really indeed encouraging. Everyone is having mobile device. Internet data is more affordable, and e-commerce is reaching up to our doorstep, so that we are able to order lot many devices without any hassle, and our online learning streak continues without any break. Other one is online assessment. All of us have started accepting and learning online courses, and then we also try to put it in our resumes, and our employers, our prospects, our customers also look for a continual education and learning capability in us when they are trying to work with us, collaborate with us, or they are trying to employ us. So this is a golden era for entrepreneurs. How is the environment? Availability of funding. Plenty of funding is available. If you have the right product for the audience, you can get the funding very easily. Now, venture capitalists are also willing to invest into the tech in edtech. User acceptance, not only students but employers, universities, and government, everyone is accepting the online education. Market disruption, everyone is trying to disrupt the market in their own way. The entire digital ecosystem is such that you can learn from your mobile, you can learn from your laptop, you can learn from your television, even you can learn from a simple phone, a phone with the EBC keypad. Immersive technologies are on the rise. It means that there is a big opportunity for people who are experts in virtual reality and augmented reality to convert entire curriculums into virtual reality. Regulatory support is available. Government is welcoming these new things and new startups, and funding. Uniform access. This also tech in EdTech provides you a global playground where you can deliver your content without any borders. Consultants, consultants like me are available to handhold you. So this is where the environment is changing. What are the opportunities in when you decide to have a startup in edtech space? Then these are the opportunities where one can think of conferencing apps with feature of conferencing collaboration. These are really in demand. Podcast companies, you can start a podcast company, interview good teachers, professionals, technocrats, businessmen, and then build a podcast company for student education, student community, there is still radio opportunity. Now governments are willing to provide radio stations where you can broadcast the education classes, various channels. It is not at all difficult to go on YouTube and create your own channel or create a WhatsApp group like the one we have. Resources for teachers are also available. There are online teacher forums where teacher can discuss challenges while delivering the education, learn from each other, and then implement best practices. Open education is the new thing on the ground. Everyone is believing that yes, education has to be delivered without any border, and it is a global need. Reskilling platforms. Students who are not in college, professionals who are working, they also need to augment their skills. So reskilling platform is a big demand. Everyone is trying to learn analytics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, Python, and all these things. Enterprises are trying to transform their operations. They are planning to go agile. They are digitally transforming themselves. That is where these reskilling platforms are in big demand. Last but not the least, one can try an online assessment company where you can say, okay, hey, I have got 1,000 questions of maths for standard 5, and then you just enroll for us, and then we provide you test practice for each of the subject and subtopics of within the curriculum, and that is where one can earn big money. So in my view, education in earlier times was a service. Now education isn't a service anymore, because expectation of students, expectations of parents, expectation of industry, expectations of teacher, expectation of the management has changed, and now education is become a experience. So this is where I am. Thank you so much. This is my Twitter handle. I'm available on LinkedIn. My ID is Chintan Oza. I would be happy to connect with you and collaborate with you. Feel free to reach out to me. Linda has my contact details, so should you wish to get my contact number, feel free to ask Linda. And I am available in the session. We can chat now. So thank you so much for your time. This is my quick presentation. I guess we are on time. So
Yeah, thank you so much,
Linda, back
sir.
to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Oza. Thanks for Mr. Oza's speech. It's a really refreshing and vivid speech. If you have any questions or comments now, you can type in the chat room. Our HoloBase assistant will collect your questions and we will discuss more in the Q&A session. And I will stop sharing again. So let's welcome our second guest speaker. Our second guest speaker is Mr. Yukaha. Mr. Yukaha is the co-founder and COO of Good Works, Palm Produce and Agro-Diversities Limited. Good Works Palm Produce and Agro-Diversities Limited is an agricultural company with headquarters in Nigeria. The company is into the production of palm oil and palm kernel oil with a strong interest in technology and a strong commitment to excellence in its operations. I will stop sharing first and, oh, sorry. I'll stop sharing first and I will unmute Mr. Sorry. Let me find him. Oh my God, I think he's disconnected. Let me connect with him. I think maybe it's the internet. Please pardon me. Sorry. So I think there are some questions for Mr. Oza. Sam said, could you please make the slide available for download? Sorry.
Yeah, so
Well,
I'm just, are you able to hear me?
oh, yes.
Okay,
Yes, I
so
can
I'm
hear
just
you now.
putting it on SlideShare, and while the session is on, I will be sharing the link so you guys can view it immediately.
Yeah, thank you. So I think Mr. Kaha is back to us now. So you can share now, sir. Hi. Oh,
Yeah.
hi. You can share now, sir. Thank you.
All right. All right. So can I go ahead and share?
Yeah, sure.
All
Go
right.
ahead. Thank you.
All right. So I can start, right?
Yes, you can start now.
Okay. All right. So first of all, hello. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
All right. So thank you very much. I want to especially thank you for this opportunity. And quickly, and I also want to thank Mr. Chintan Oza for the presentation. That was amazing. That blew my mind away. So I will be talking on online education and smart technology. And I will be talking as a Nigerian who lives in Nigeria. So everything that I'm going to be talking about will be from the perspective of Nigeria. And Nigeria will actually be my primary case study. So I want you all to bear with me. So my name is Chukuma Okaha, and I'm the co-founder of Good Works Farm Produce and Agro Diversities Limited, an agro company based in Nigeria. And you might be wondering why is someone in the agro sector, talking about education? The truth is, I have before now I've been working on some educational platforms with some colleagues. So I have a huge interest in the technology sector and also the educational sector. So I'll quickly go ahead. So the first thing is this is an old quote by the Greek philosopher Plato, and he said that necessity is the mother of invention. And looking at the way things are now, the conditions of the world, the situations of the world currently, I believe this quote is very more relevant now than even before. And the reason why we are holding this webinar is to look at the way forward. Considering the state of things, there needs to be a way forward amidst everything that is happening. So quickly, looking at what's happening in Nigeria, earlier this year, the lockdown came as a surprise. Nobody expected it. And one of the sectors that was largely affected by this pandemic was the educational sector. And all the schools in Nigeria were shut down. And the unfortunate thing was that over 95% of the schools in Nigeria had no plan B. Many of the schools in Nigeria had no other, had no online platform to, transfer their learning. So that made a lot of people, a lot of students not to have access to learning. So that's why there is a huge need for online education in Nigeria. And sorry. All right. All right, so looking at these figures here, this figure was gotten from a financial institution in Nigeria, First Bank, and they are currently working on a project to transfer about 1 million students in Nigeria into online learning, into e-learning. And the statistics they showed was that over 39 million learners in Nigeria are unable to get access to education for the past 5 to 6 months now. They've been unable to get access to education. And out of that 39 million people, about 2 million of them are in the preschool age. We call them nursery school in Nigeria. And about 25.5 million of them are within the primary school stage. And about 10.3 million of them are within the secondary school stage, while the remaining 1.5 million are in the tertiary institutions. So that's actually a huge problem in Nigeria. And from the things, from what I've been seeing thus far, a lot of students they've not had access to any learning, and many of them are not even reading. Many of them have no devices to study, no access at all. So this has led to what I personally call brain lockdown. So let me say, almost 39 million students in Nigeria are on brain lockdown now because they have not. A lot of them are just at home, watching movies, playing, eating, and sleeping. So there is nothing they are doing. So that is why there is a huge need for we to leverage on technology to start online learning platforms, especially in Nigeria and other parts of Africa. And this has led to some organizations here in Nigeria trying to do something about it, try to leverage on the opportunity to see if they can bring solutions to the problem. And one of those platforms is ULesson. ULesson was founded by Sim Sagaya, and Sim Sagaya is the founder of Konga. Konga is an e-commerce company in Nigeria. So he was the one who founded it, and he started this ULesson from last year. Well, it was as if he that something like this, the lockdown was going to happen. So, and I believe he's a big entrepreneur, because as an entrepreneur, we should, entrepreneurs are visionaries who should see how the future is going to be like. So he saw the opportunity and he already started something like this. And I believe it has played a huge role in this pandemic. And also another financial institution, just like I mentioned earlier, First Bank, they are currently working on a project. And the project is to move over 1 million students to e-learning, and they've already partnered with some organizations like the Rodukate app. Rodukate is an online learning platform too, and also Curious Learning with IBM. So they are partnering with these organizations to move about 1 million students into online e-learning platforms. But see, we are just talking about 1 million. While the about 39 million students in Nigeria don't have access to online education. So this shows that there is a huge market and there is a huge opportunity in this sector in Nigeria. Something needs to be done because even till now, the government is still yet to give an instruction for schools to start again. So a lot of students are just there, dormant, doing nothing. So there is a need. So the question here now is, how can smart technology empower education? So I've been able to just quickly summarize the most important of them into just 5. So I'll be looking at them one after the other very quickly without wasting much time. Mr. Chintan Oza have already, given a comprehensive lecture on this. So I'll quickly just take a look at these 5 without too much stress. So the first one, I think the one of the big benefits of the smart technology is going to have in the educational sector here in Nigeria, and I believe in other parts of the world, is the aspect of omnipresence and easier accessibility. I think one of the biggest benefits of technology we know is technology has made life easier for everybody. And also what I call omnipresence. Omnipresence is just the ability to be at different places at different times. So through technology, let me say, for example, I'm a teacher and I'm teaching about 50 students or 100 students, and there is something like a lockdown like this. So through online education, through the help of technology, I can still, teach those students wherever they are without having to travel to their houses or go through the stress of trying to, meet them at their different locations. So through technology, just like we are doing now, I can easily interact with a lot of people from different parts of the world, Asia, Europe, America, and without having to go there. So I'm sort of being at different places at the same time. So it's good for both the students and also the teacher. So it gives the teacher some easy leverage, and also the students too. The students too are just at the comfort of your home. You can, do any sort of lectures you want. So that's one big advantage that smart technology is going to have on education. And secondly, just like Mr. Chintan Oza noted, it enhances collaboration. I want to use myself as an example now. When I was still in, secondary university, there is this problem we always had, and that is the problem of trying to. Sometimes you need help from your teacher, but you don't know how to go to meet your teacher to ask for help or something like that. Or sometimes you don't even know how to easily socialize with your colleagues. So through technology has such gaps can be bridged. You can easily get to your teacher. You can easily connect with your colleagues. And you can easily collaborate with anybody from all parts of the world and do what you want to do, work on different projects. Just like there is an online course that I'm personally doing, and I find it very easy to collaborate with a lot of people that I don't even know, strangers that I don't even know. So that's what a smart technology, when properly done well, can help to make everything very easy for us, enhance collaboration among people. And for those who probably are so shy to interact with people, they can still easily interact with anybody without any stress. So that is it. And thirdly, smart technology for better understanding. Let me say in the past, in the 90s or in the early 2000s, using Nigeria as an example, getting information or getting access to information was a little bit of very difficult. You know, for you to get access to some resources, you need to go to libraries, the state libraries, and you know, search through a lot of encyclopedias, and sometimes, many a times, you don't even get the information you need. So, but you know, fast forward to today, you know, the advent of technology has, you know, made everything very easy. You know, information is, well, let's say, right at the fingertips of everybody. You can easily just go to Google and get a lot of information you want. And I believe for education to be better, for there to be better understanding in education, there needs to be more resources and more tools that can make learning easier for everybody, for both the little child, for both the people who are the elderly and the younger people. So there needs to be more resources. So smart technology can help to, you know, make this possible. People are inventing newer technologies every day through the smartphones, the tablets, and everything. More tools are coming out that are making learning very easy and very interesting. You know, we have this stereotypical idea here in, I don't know if it's the same in all parts of the world, here in Nigeria, that, you know, education is boring because the method of teaching here is actually quite very boring. But through the advent of technology, through smart technology, there are easier ways to, you know, you can access a lot of resources that can make learning very easy. Because sometimes you can come across a teacher who can't really, you know, impact knowledge properly. They know the subjects they are teaching, but to impact the knowledge to you sometimes is a huge problem. So with smart technology, you can get access to many tools that you can access that can make, you know, learning very easy and more understandable for you. So I think that's one huge way that smart technology can help to, you know, make education better for everybody. And thirdly, freedom of expression, which is very, very, very important. This is one of the biggest of them, one of the most vital importance of smart technology is having on education. That is, I noticed that personally. I was a student. I used to be a student both in the secondary school and primary and the university. And there is one thing that I personally noticed then. You know, sometimes you are in class and you are learning from a teacher and you have a question, but you don't even know how to, you know, open up express yourself or ask the question because you're scared of being ridiculed by your colleagues or you're scared of being called crazy by your teacher. So instead of asking the question, you keep your mouth shut and you don't, you swallow the question and you end up not getting much from the lecture. So it's a huge problem, like a huge problem. A lot of people, a lot of students have been affected by this here in Nigeria. You see, and the ones who have the confidence to talk are the ones that the smartest students in the class. They are the ones who have the they feel very free asking the questions, you know, all of those things. But the others, majority, over 90% of the class, will just keep mute. But out of those 90%, majority of them have a lot of things to say, but they don't know how to. Some are so shy, some are just scared. You know, all of this, a lot of people have low self-esteem too. So technology helps to bridge that. So through these, let me say, for example, when Mr. Chinta Oza was lecturing, for example, if I want to ask him a question, and let me say I'm shy, I can't express myself publicly, I can also ask him some questions through the chat box, and he will answer my question. Very easy. So I find it very easy to express myself. I can also, for example, if I'm scared of showing my face on the camera, I can shut down the video and still ask my question. So technology has made it very easy to express ourselves. So everybody now has the right to say something. That's why you see on social media, a lot of people have go on social media, they write a lot of things, and many of them physically they can't really talk, they can't really associate with a lot of people, but through technology they can express themselves well. So I think this is one of the biggest benefits the smart technology is having on education. So I believe it's going to really revolutionize things. And the fifth one is control and personalized learning. And I think technology has made it in such a way that if you both for the teacher and for the students, you can easily control your schedule. Let me say, for example, I have I applied for an online course, and I can easily learn at my own pace without being forced. Because one thing I understand is that for many of us, we all don't have the same learning ability. Some people are smarter than the others. Some people's IQ are sharper than the others. And so some people can just quickly grab something just at their first learning, just at their first lecture. But some people need to, learn and relearn, study again for them to really understand and grab the subject matter. Personally, I need, if I attend the lecture, I need to go back and study what I learned for me to really grab it, for me to really understand every nitty-gritty that was, lectured. So we all are different. So through online education, you can follow you can learn at your own pace. You can always go back and, relearn, watch a video again to understand better. So it provides a level playing ground for everybody, for the genius, for the ones who have a low IQ, for the ones who, I believe everybody is a genius if taught properly. Just like we know about Thomas, is it Albert Einstein, who was not so bright in school, but his mother, brought him, taught him personally, gave him a personalized sort of learning. And and today we are celebrating one of the greatest geniuses in the universe. So that is it. So through online learning, you have this sort of personalized sort of learning. A teacher can easily get get access to different individuals, teach them on a one-on-one basis, which makes learning easier, more interesting and fun. And also it gives control to both the students and the teacher. You can take control of your schedule. You can learn at any time, morning, afternoon, night. So there is no specific period that you can just go, learn and it's done. So that is one of the biggest advantages, we have with smart technology and education. So moving ahead, right here in Nigeria, there are still some challenges that we face. They say that everything that is good, everything that is great, everything that is amazing also has some, downsides too. So in Nigeria here, let me see, if you want to start up an online, educational platform or some other opportunities, there are some challenges which needs to be, surmounted. But I believe as entrepreneurs, if any entrepreneur is here, I believe one of the biggest goal of an entrepreneur is to, is to surmount the obstacles. The obstacles shouldn't be things that will hold you down from, taking advantage of a great opportunity. So one of the biggest challenges we face here in Nigeria specifically, and some other African countries, but I just want to use Nigeria as my case study because this is my country and I understand a lot of things that are happening in this in this region. And one of the greatest challenges we face, number one, is high mobile data cost. The average Nigerian find it difficult to even watch YouTube videos because they are scared that their data will just because many of these platforms take a lot of data and the tariffs here are high, so it's a huge challenge. So anybody wanting to start up an online platform here needs to take that into consideration, and that is why some platforms like ULesson, they have to integrate both the offline and the online learning together. They have to join them together. More 90% offline, then 10% online. They just needed to balance it because of the region we are in, because of the problems we face with data. So I believe the more we move on in the future, in the near future, probably things are going to be better. So, but for now, it's a challenge. But I believe we can surmount it. It's a matter of putting a lot of interest in it. There is always a way. There is this saying that whatever the heart of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So there is always a way if we give it so much thought. And currently, I'm working with someone to work on an educational platform, and we are currently looking at this challenge well to look at a way to overcome it. So the second word is unsteady electricity. It's an infrastructural problem. It has been a problem for us for a long time. So somehow we are used to it. And we have a way to play around it. So it's not really so much of a big challenge, but it's still a challenge regardless. So the third one is socialization. And this one affects everybody, both in Nigeria and all parts of the world. Technology has done a great job for us, connecting everybody from different parts of the world. But there is still a little bit of downside. It has led to low physical contact with people, which a lot of doctors and psychologists have said that it affects our mental health and even our personal well-being. And Aristotle, the ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle, said that man is a social animal. So sometimes we need to really interact physically too. So I believe in the near future, I believe we should find a way to make the physical interaction better. And this is what the Susan Pinker, a psychologist, said. She said that face-to-face contact releases a whole cascade of neurotransmitters, and
like a vaccine. They protect you now, in the present, and well into the future. So simply shaking hands, giving somebody a high five is enough to release oxytocin, which increases your level of trust and lowers your cortisol levels. So it lowers your stress. So we see that physical contact is very, very necessary. It helps to increase oxytocin, which is the social bonding hormone. It's being called love hormone. So it helps to increase it, and it helps to increase the level of trust and also to reduce cortisol level. Cortisol is the man's stress hormone. So it helps to balance it and lower our stress. So I believe moving forward into the future, we need to find a way to integrate both the physical, and the online learning to balance. We just need a balance between two of them to make things better. So finally coming to an end, there is a book written by Peter Thiel, and the title of the book is 0 to 1. I have the book here with me, 0 to 1. You can go read it if you want. And he brought out 7 questions that any business in any sector needs to answer if they are to succeed in their business. 7 very important questions, very vital questions that every business needs to answer if they are to succeed. And I'm just going to look at the second one. The second one says the second one is the timing question. Is now the right time to start your particular business? Let's say, for example, Mr. Chintonza gave us a lot of opportunities in this sector. So the question is now the right time to start your particular sort of business? Let's say you want to start an online educational learning platform, or you want to start a podcast company or whatever. So I from what we have studied thus far, my answer is yes. This is the best time to start this business, because the thing is, this pandemic has there is some positive aspect of it too. And let me explain myself in case you don't understand what I mean. What I mean by that is, for every business, if you want to start any new business, let me say you have an idea, you want to start it, you want to implement it in a business, you need to validate your idea before you start. So I believe that the pandemic has helped to validate the concept of online learning. It has helped to validate. A lot of people are now seeing the need for it. We are talking about 39 million students not having unable to gain access to any sort of learning, staying for up to 5 to 6 months without learning anything, and which has led to what I call brain lockdown. So everybody's now seeing the need. So if you start such business now, everybody will open up their hands to accept it. People now see the need, so you don't really need to do much marketing. So I think now is the best time. The ground is fertile for anybody who wants to start. I think Nigeria is a huge market for anybody who wants to start. And probably you are interested in this region, we can help you out. So it's a huge opportunity for everybody to take advantage. The market is huge and ready. So it's a great opportunity for everybody. And just like the Chinese proverb said, it's the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. So I want to rephrase that. The best. Let me rephrase it to say the best time to start, to leverage smart technology to improve online education was probably 2010, 5 years, or even yesterday. Now the best time is now. It's not too late. So the ground is fertile. So anybody who is interested in starting this should take a huge advantage of this. Recently, a banker contacted me and told me she has a physical, an offline school. So she was planning on starting an online school, looking at everything, because her school has been on lockdown. So she contacted me to work with her to advise her on how to go about it, and we are working on something. So it's a huge opportunity for anybody who wants to take advantage of it. So I urge every entrepreneur to take advantage of this great opportunity. So that is it for today. So I want to say a big thank you to everybody for giving me your audience and for this opportunity. I sincerely appreciate it. I want to thank the HoloBase team. I want to thank Linda for always keeping in touch, and I want to thank Mr. Chintaoza for sharing his knowledge. I sincerely appreciate. Thank you. And if you want to hook up with me, if you want to send me a message, you can get to me on Facebook, chukuma.okaha.1, on Twitter, Chukuma UK, Instagram, Chukuma, or you can just shoot me an email, chukumaokaha@gmail.com. So thank you very much. I sincerely appreciate it.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your sharing. Okay, let me share. So our audiences must have some questions. I already see some questions now. Let me see. I actually noticed one question mentioned by Vincent, right? I think both of our speakers already mentioned that question. He said, like it's about the tailor-made education. So are there already tools or AI available that will help form the class program that and give actual classes? So I think Mr. Oza already sent some materials about this question, but could you please like give us a few sentences about this question?
Yeah, sure, definitely. So there are a lot of tools which help the teacher to deliver personalized education. Just for example, if any student is weak when his learning is weak in certain areas of the topic of the subject, then the teacher can decide to give him more questions and build more tests around that specific area and then help him bring up to the speed. So that is the best way to personalize the education, and that is where there are a lot of tools, there are a lot of services which are available, and that is how the AI, the uh, tech is enabling us to replicate this experience and create personalized delivery. So I may be good in addition, but you may be good in the multiplication. And that is where if I need practice on multiplication and that too 3-digit by 3-digit multiplication, then based on my answer, based on my learning speed, the AI would suggest that this is what is the learning curve for Mr. Chintan. And the teacher can actually tune it, and then my next exam would have those areas, those questions, which would be fed into my question paper. So this is how it is creating a benefit for all of us.
So thank you.
Does it answer the query?
Also, thank you for the materials you shared in the chat room. So Mr. Yukaha, you want to share a few thoughts about this question? Vincent just mentioned this question. He said, are there already tools or AI available that will help form the classes, a class program, or give actual classes like the tailor-made education, the individual like classes?
I didn't get the question properly.
Oh,
Can you
okay.
please,
You maybe you can just read the questions, and we will, and you can chat with him offline.
all right, no problem.
Yeah,
All right.
we will move on to the discussion session. I think Mr. Yukaha already light up this online meeting, so let's get to it. So we prepared some questions. So the first question is, have you ever had an online learning experience, or and how did it feel? How is it different from offline learning? Anyone wants to share maybe? What about I can I can actually share a few things about myself, and I feel exactly the same thing, the same way that Mr. Yukaha just said. I was actually still studying at CUHK earlier this year. So of course we finished our online course whole semester through online courses, and I feel like it's pretty different from offline learning. The whole learning status is different, although the screens make the teachers and student classmates feel a little bit distant. But however, it is the distance that somehow encouraged more students to speak up. Like we gain more courage to speak from this distance. So that's just one thing that I have observed from my own experience. So anyone else wants to share?
Yeah, definitely. So I'll say that online learning has got its advantage as well as disadvantage. There are two ways. One is the learning of core skill, and other one is the added learning or on the second layer of learning. The second layer, so online education plays a very good role as and when it comes to secondary learning, or the next layer of learning, when you want to practice and when you want to actually redo things and then self-learning. So that is where online education plays a major role. But as far as the core skills are concerned, let's say, I mean, uh, learning, let's say, how to operate a patient, then looking at a video of 1,000 hours also wouldn't make you a doctor.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
So
So that
anyone?
is where I strongly believe that even if one looks at various operations and then by just looking at the another doctor operating a patient, you cannot become a
Yeah.
doctor. So that is where there are certain limitations, and that is where these limitations are being eliminated by use of gamification, by use of virtualization and all. But still
Yeah.
we are not there. There is a lot of things we can do.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just move on to the next question. What do you think are the advantages and disadvantages of each of the offline and online learning models? How should the two models be better bridged through technology? Anyone wants to share your ideas? What about Vincent? You just asked the question. You want to share a few things? Oh, I will unmute you. Oh,
Thank you. Yeah, I actually was already thinking about this. I think online and offline education should be mixed. Maybe, for example, I think the social aspect is very important, and I think that if you are in class together, you'll learn more than just the things that you can learn digitally. But I also agree with what Chukwuama said, that it's hard for a lot of people to ask questions or to speak up, and I think even online classes in offline classes can help with that part as well. And I think AI can help make the classes more individual, because right now what we see in Holland, where I am from, we have classes with 30 people and it's just sending information, and yeah, everyone gets the same study specifically for the first 12, 13, 14 years, I think. So I think AI or online education can help a lot here. Maybe you get a basic general education, and then you just make it more specific with online courses for everybody.
oh, okay. I see Sam open your video. You wanna share something? I will unmute you. You wanna share a few things?
Yeah. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Okay,
you.
great. Yes, like the online education, since the future of work is going to be remote work, which means most of us will be working online. I think to prepare the workforce to better meet that demand of the new working environment is online education. And a hybrid, as the former speaker asked, a hybrid model will be a lot better to help our social interaction, because what kind of society are we building when we haven't, if we miss the part of our human culture that's evolved over thousands of years, if we miss a part of in physical interaction, is going to be an issue. However, a good hybrid and a blend of using hologram, AR, VR, virtual reality will also help a lot to make it look a little bit a little bit physical. Visual reality, you help a little too. You see yourself seated in a classroom with hologram of other students, and then it's going to make it more dynamic. And then with the help of physical simulators too. Like earlier today in LinkedIn, I saw someone who designed a car racing model, a simulator. You sit inside, you put the headset, you have the experience, because you have physical feedback coming back into you, so it's closer to the physical world. So we can still observe the social distancing, which has drive the digital education, but we also have this artificial intelligence, virtual reality to make a hybrid model, which will a little bit closer to the physical. And then once in a while, we also have some physical interaction to add some spice to the mix.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So let's
Thank you.
move on to the final question, and it's for entrepreneurs. Do you think it's a good time for entrepreneurs to get involved in this online education industry? So both of our speakers already mentioned that, and Mr. Shinten also provide us with multiple directions. So what I want to know what others think about this new opportunity. Maybe anyone wants to share? What about Terrence? You want to say something? Sorry. Okay, Sam, you want to continue? Oh, sorry, we can't hear you.
Okay,
Oh, yes.
entrepreneurs are very much willing to go into it if they have the avenue. Like I was hearing Huawei has a kind of 5G digital classroom, but I tried to contact someone from the team. I couldn't get a response. I think entrepreneurs, developers, I'm a software developer, for instance, working on digital platforms for schools. I think entrepreneurs are willing and they are ready to explore the best cost-effective medium. Like Chukuma earlier talked about the challenge of the digital education in places like Nigeria. That's where I'm coming from. And everything he said is absolutely correct and true. Electricity, high data costs, you need to have a hybrid system of offline and online and things like that. Entrepreneurs are willing, but I think those ones to invest need to know what they're investing into. Those ones to develop a cost-effective way to have a technology that can serve. So I think now is the best time for entrepreneurs to get into it. There's no better time than now. In fact, the best time was yesterday, like you said, and the second best time is now.
So yeah, thank you. So what do you think, Vincent? What do you think of this question? Like, is it like a good time to enter the?
Well, I'm actually thinking about it as well. I have a lot of connections with Colombia, and it's also a third world country where education still has a lot of improvements left. But for me, that would more be like helping out, and it wouldn't be that cost effective, I guess. So I would like to get involved, and I would like to get people together and start to find ways to not. I really like the word brain lockdown, because I think that's the same thing over there, and I would like to help them battle it. But right now I cannot even go there. I try to go there again in October, and I'm not sure if it will be like if it will make any money. I don't think it will be the case. It will just cost energy and time, but I think it's a thing we have to do. We have to help the world learn, because I think it's the most important thing to educate the next generation.
Yeah, totally. Akeem actually sent me in the chat box. He said it would depend on your foundation and how you plan to enter the segment. If you already have infrastructure and foundations related to online education, then I believe it would be a good time. Yeah, thank you, Akeem. So anyone else wants to share? Anyone? So I think it's about time. Let's just wrap it up. Thank you. Oh, so thank you all for your amazing sharings. The above is all the content of this online meeting. We're especially grateful to Mr. Oza and Mr. Yukaha, and also all of our speakers for the insightful and profound thoughts. Thank you for overcoming the time and geographical differences to participate in our event. Our HoloBase team are planning the next series of events, and we hope to see more and more members to participate in this community. After the meeting, we will sort out the content you shared and discussed and share it with other HoloBase users who did not participate in this activity, and with our Chinese users through our parent company, GeekPark, which is a leading tech media in China. At last, I'd like to borrow 1 or 2 minutes from our users. Can you help us fill in the questionnaire about this event, you can click the link in the chat room, and we will also send it to our WhatsApp group. Thank you so much. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to contact us. Thank you so much for your attention and time. Thank you. Thank you. I'll stop sharing and say goodbye. Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for
Vincent.
coming.
Thank you, Linda.
Thanks for coming. I will unmute.
Thank you so much. It was a great.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kaha and Mr.